Hello, and welcome to my talk again for today. It's good to have you here. We've had a big rain shower here in Fredericton this afternoon, and I hope that if you need rain in your area, you've had a similar thing. The grass seems to be growing almost as I'm looking at it. During the last few weeks, people have asked me how I come up with talks day after day. Now, you'll have noticed over the months that I've been doing these that they vary in quality and depth depending upon the day. Sometimes I put a great deal of research and reading into them. On other occasions, when I'm a bit pressed for time, I do what's known as an object talk. Many years ago, when I was in training, we learned how to do these in a high pressure environment. Some of you may know that in central London there's a place called Hyde Park, and every Sunday people are allowed to stand up at a place called Speaker's Corner and talk about whatever takes their fancy. If you go there to listen, you'll be amazed at what's said. If you go there to speak, you need to be ready to be heckled. Part of our course was to go there to speak. The way it was done was that we had to dip our hands into a black garbage bag and pull out one of the objects that was in there. We had no idea what was in there, but we had 2 minutes to come up with a Christian message using the object as a prop. I don't mean 2 minutes to think and then speak, but a 2-minute message beginning as your hand left the bag. Basically, it was start talking and shape the message as you go. Over the years, I've done a lot of these object talks, facing big crowds in the open air and a few people in church. In fact, last time I did it was in one of our churches, and I did it with the black bag, and I left the last object for the rector. What I'm going to do now is to show you what I mean. I don't keep a very tidy desk, and when I'm working there is always stuff scattered around. I'm going to pick up something at random and try to do a talk. I promise you, whatever it is I pick up, I will never have done a talk on an object like this before. So here lying next to me is my pen, and as I said, I've never used a pen for an object talk. This pen can do a number of things, but the main thing it can do is to write. And it can write stories, it can write reports, or whatever. One of the things that we do as human beings is to write our own story. And we write a story of our life. Not necessarily writing it on paper, but as we live our life, a story is written. And one of the things that we need to think about is, how is that story written? God calls us to walk with him, and he wants to be involved in our story. There are people around who will be able to share with us what it means to have God in the story. And so as we look at this pen, the question to ask each one of us is, who's in the story? Now, as I said, that would normally be done in front of a crowd where most people would have little or no idea of the Christian faith. What it does for us, however, if we go through and do something like I just did, is it enables us to think through the important ideas in our faith and try to encapsulate them succinctly, and then communicate them in a way that people might be able to understand. You might want to try to do this, not to go out in public like I sometimes do, but just to see if you can. Anyway, thank you very much for listening today, and I trust that you'll have a good weekend. There is a litany tonight, and also I'm sure many of us will be involved in acts of worship on Sunday and through other parts of the weekend. So again, thank you for being here. God bless, and stay safe.